హలో గొలి, మనం అనుకున్నట్టుగానే ఫ్రీ ఎక్సెల్ కోర్స్ మన ఛానల్లో లాంచ్ చేసాము. సో కంప్లీట్ గా చూడండి, ఎక్సెల్ మంచిగా నేర్చుకోండి. ఫ్రెషర్స్ కి అయితే చాలా యూజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఎంఐఎస్ అని చెప్పి ప్రతి కంపెనీలోని జాబ్ ఉంటుంది, ఇదంతా ఎక్సెల్ మీదే ఉంటుంది. సో ఇక్కడ నుంచి మన కెరియర్ కూడా చాలా ఈజీగా బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అనమాట. సో ఈ ఎంఐఎస్ జాబ్ ఏంటి, ఇక్కడ నుంచి మన కెరియర్ ఎలా బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవాలి అని చెప్పి ఆల్రెడీ మన పాడ్కాస్ట్ చేసాము. సో నేను ఇక్కడ లింక్ ఇస్తాను. సో ఆ పాడ్కాస్ట్ చూడండి, చూస్తే మీకు ఈ ఎక్సెల్ నేర్చుకుని మన కెరియర్ పాత్ అనేది ఎలా గ్రో చేసుకోవాలి అనేది క్లియర్ గా మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. సో ఎంజాయ్ ద ఎక్సెల్ కోర్స్ గైస్. సో ఇంకేమైనా కోర్స్ మీకు నేర్చుకోవాలనుకుంటే కనుక కింద కమెంట్ చేయండి. ఆ పర్టికులర్ ట్రైనర్ తో వీడియోస్ చేపించి మనం దాంట్లో ఫ్రీగా కోర్స్ అనేది పెడతాము. ఒకవేళ అది అవ్వకపోతే కనుక ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ లో డిఎం చేయండి, ఈ పర్టికులర్ కోర్స్ కావాలని చెప్పి. నేను ఆ ప్రొఫెషనల్ తీసుకుని అతని కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్ మీకు షేర్ చేస్తాను. సో దట్ మీరు ఆ కోర్స్ ఈజీగా నేర్చు. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి, మన ద్వారా కోర్స్ నేర్చుకునేలాగైతే ఐ విల్ గివ్ యూ 20% డిస్కౌంట్. అంటే ఒక 10,000 అయితే మీరు 8,000 పే చేసుకుంటే నేను 2,000 పే చేస్తాను. సో ఎంజాయ్ ద కోర్స్ గైస్. బాయ్.
Fine. So in yesterday's session, we have seen how this sum if will work, sum if and sum if is. Similarly, we have count related to five functions: count, count a, count if s, and count blank. We will see count related to functions. Count functions. So we have five functions. First one is count, count a, count if s, count blank. Okay. So normally we have used this count function. So we have discussed this count function in the first class. So what count function is going to do? Count function is going to count only numbers in a selected range. Let's say if I write here equal to count and select the data. So it is going to count how many numbers are there. So like here we have total six numbers. Total six numbers are there, right? Now similarly, like if we have some text, let's say if I have some text and if I'm trying to apply count function, then we are going to get 5 because count function count only numbers. Count, and if I select the range, so we're going to get 5. So this function is going to give me only 5. So count function will count only numbers. Numbers, right? If you have some text, it is going to be ignored. So it is ignore the text. So count function will count only numbers, right? Let's say I have a situation. I want to count both numbers and characters. In that case, we go for count a function. Count a function. Now, if you want to count both, then say here count a function. So select the range. So it is going to count both numbers and text. Like here previously we got only 5. We got only 5 even we have text. But when we use the, even if you have a text, we are going to get 6. Right? So count a function count numbers and characters. Numbers and characters. So count a function, it will count both numbers and characters. Count function, it will count only numbers. Right? Next we have count if function. So this count if function, whenever you want to count the data, or you can say count the numbers or characters, based on some condition. Based on condition, if you want to count, then we can use count if function. So we can write here count if. It will take two parameters, range comma criteria. Criteria is nothing but a condition. Range comma criteria. Right? Let's say I have some student ID. Then I have day wise attendance type of thing. Attendance type. Some number 101, 102, 103, 104. let's say attendance like present, uh, absent, abs, I will write here present, some half a day present, complete present, can write here. Fine. So I wanted to count the total, how many days, how many P's are there, like for this particular student, how many days he is present. I want to count only P wherever we have a P text. So we can write here equal to count if range. The first step is range. So this is my range, comma, then we have criteria. So in place of criteria, so what I want to count in this data, I want to count only P, right? So in place of criteria, we'll enter double quotation and we say here P. Fine, close the bracket. So we can see we have two P's. So it is going to count only P from this entire range, right? If I copy paste here, so I can see how many P's are there. So this particular range we have 4 P's, this particular range we have 3 P's, like this. So whenever whichever particular text you wanted to count, or text or alternate text, even number you want to count, you can give count if. Count if we say here range, and then criteria is nothing but a condition what you wanted to count, right? Let's say I want to count total number of P's, how many P's are there. Then I can write here, total P's I want to count. You can write like this, count if, then range. So this is my entire range. In this range, comma, I want to count number of P, right? Criterize P. So total we have 13P. Like in this way, I mean, it will take a range, comma, criteria. So we need to give a range, and then criteria is nothing but a condition. So which condition you wanted to apply it. You can just select. Right? Count if. Not only this. Let's say I'll just copy the one that we have used. Let's say I want to count here. Let's say I want to count this HDFC repeated how many times. Then what I will do, I can apply this count if function. We can say equal to count if, then we have a range. So range is nothing but this is my entire range. In this range, comma, then criteria condition is what I want to count HDFC. So we'll select like this way, in this way. In place of condition, I will select this particular cell. So we are saying that in this range, whatever is that we have selected, this range, I want to count how many times HDFC is available. Fine. So we close the bracket. So you can see here we have 3 times HDFC, ICICI 3 times, Kotak 3 times, AB 1 time. So it is going to give me how many times that particular value is repeating. Right? So anytime if you wanted to count number of times a particular value is repeating how many times, then yes, we can go for this count if function, right? Now next we have count if s function. So count if s function, it will work on to count the data based on multiple criteria. I can say more than one criteria. Count if s. So count if s is basically count if s. First we have criteria range 1, comma, criteria 1. Then criteria range 2, comma, criteria 2. So like this, we can enter n number of options. Like what it is mean, range, criteria. So we can give range, comma, criteria. Let's say suppose example I have in this way. So now my requirement is I want to see HDFC Bank status equal to high. This combination, how many records are there? Similarly, I want to see SBI, then low status, how many records are there? So I want to see combination. HDFC Bank, high, these two combination, how many records are there? SBI, low, these two combination, how many records are there? I want to count. Then yes, we can go for, can use equal to count if S, then criteria range 1. So in place of criteria range 1, I will select bank name. So range first. So select, this is my range, comma, and then criteria 1. So what is with, this is my range. In this range, I want to count how many times HDFC is available. So I'll select here HDFC, fine, comma, then criteria range 2. So I'll select here status. This is my range. This is my range. In this range, I want to see how many times high is available. So I want to see first in this data, I want to count how many times high is available. So we're saying that first look for the range, bank name range, and see how many times HDFC is available. Second, look for status range, comma, how many times this high status is available. Fine. If these two are matching, then what is the output? So we have only one record. Actually, we have HDFC multiple times we have. Total we have 3 records HDFC, but we are saying that HDFC and high status is only one record. This is my low, high, and poor. So we have only one record, right? Like this way. So SBI, we have SBI low combination 3 records. You can see SBI. So SBI on all are 3 low records only. That's why we are getting 3 as a output, right? So like in this way. Right? So range comma criteria, then yes, it will work in this way. Is it clear, guys? Are you getting count if s? So whenever we wanted to count on criteria, single condition or multiple condition, then yes, we can go with this count if and count if s functions.
సార్
Yeah, చెప్పండి.
ఈ కౌంట్ ఇఫీస్ ఒకసారి ఇఫ్ఎస్లో కొంచెం టచ్ అవుతుంది సార్ C53 ఒకసారి
ఇలా వెళ్ళకండి, ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఇవి ఇలా వెళ్ళకండి. C53 ఇది కాదు, మెయిన్
అదే అదే
ఏంటంటే
ఓకే
సింటాక్స్ అనమాట. సింటాక్స్, రైట్?
సింటాక్స్ ఒకసారి
కౌంట్
చెప్పండి.
ఇఫ్ ఫస్ట్ రేంజ్, ఇక్కడ రేంజ్ అంటుంది కదా, క్రైటీరియా రేంజ్. సో మనం ఏమంటున్నాం, ఇది సెలెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం రేంజ్ ఫస్ట్.
ఓకే
ఓకే, కామా, తర్వాత ఏమంటున్నాం ఇక్కడ క్రైటీరియా. సో ఇది
ఓకే
ఇందులో నుంచి మనం ఏం కౌంట్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాం, హెచ్డిఎఫ్సి కౌంట్
HDFC
చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాం,
ఓకే
రైట్? కామా, తర్వాత మళ్ళీ రేంజ్, తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ ఇది తీసుకుంటున్నాను రేంజ్,
ఓకే
కామా, మళ్ళీ క్రైటీరియా 2. సో ఇది కౌంట్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాం అక్కడ, అలా.
ఓకే
సో రేంజ్ క్రైటీరియా, రేంజ్
రేంజ్
క్రైటీరియా,
క్రైటీరియా
రేంజ్ క్రైటీరియా, ఇలా.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్
Right? Okay. Cool. Right. Now next we have count to blank. Count to blank is nothing but how many missing cells you have in the range. Then we can go for count to blank function. Count to blank, input is range. Input is range. Right? So basically to count the blank cells in a selected range. Right? So let's say I have some data. Somewhere I have missing values. Okay, somewhere I have missing values. So I want to count how many missing values are there. So we can go for count to blank and select the range. Select the range. So we can see we have one blank cell in this cell, in this particular range. Here we have 2 blank cells. Here we have 3 blank cells. Fine. So if I wanted to see total blank cells, total blanks, then we can write here count to blank and range. So this is my range. So in this entire data, count how many blank cells are there. So total we have 6 blank cells. So we can use total, I mean say here blank option, count to blank option. So these are all count function: count, count A, count if S, count blank. So based on the situation, we can use this function. So count if, it will take only one criteria condition. Count if S, it will take more than one condition or criteria. Now next, we will try to understand about this. Try to see this conditional formatting, how this conditional formatting works. Right. So we talk about conditional formatting. So when we go for conditional formatting, actually how this conditional formatting works. So conditional formatting, basically it works on true or false logic. True or false logic. If my condition is true, then we get color. If my condition is false, then we don't get any color. Okay. Conditional formatting works on true or false logic. So what it is going to do, it is going to provide some colors. It will going to give some colors based on the condition. So it is not going to modify any data. It is just going to give me the highlighting the colors. I mean, it's highlight the data, highlight the data. If condition is true, we will get color. If condition is false, then we won't get any color. So we'll see how actually it works. Conditional formatting. So it's available under Home tab. Home tab. Then we have conditional formatting. So in conditional formatting, it works on true or false logic. True or false logic. True or false. Right. So let's see. So Home tab. Then we have conditional formatting. The first one option is highlight cell rules. Highlight cell rules. Cell rules. Highlight cell rules. So let's say if you have some data. One second, guys. Okay, we did not discuss pivot table, right? Okay. Next week we will discuss. Okay, fine. So Home tab, then we have conditional formatting. Then we say highlight cell rules. In this, we have option called greater than option. So what it is my greater than option, we'll see. Let's say I have the data. So I wanted to highlight the data where my value is greater than 300. I want to highlight some color. So then first select the data, Home tab, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. We go for greater than option. We say here greater than. So then we need to apply the condition. Let's say here format cells that are greater than. So I wanted to see greater than 300. We'll enter here 300. Greater than 300. Fine. Then we have here color type: light red fill, dark red text, yellow fill, so green fill. So we have some colors. So we can select it. Let's say if I select right red fill, it will check. So 310 greater than 300, true or false. If it is true, then apply the color. 249 greater than 300, true or false. True, then apply the color. Like in that way. Fine. So option is highlight cell rules. We can say here greater than 300. Fine. Similarly, let's say I want to highlight the data which is less than 300. So Home tab, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules will say here less than. I'll enter here less than 300. So we're saying that, okay, I wanted to highlight the data where my value is less than 300. If this condition is true, then apply the color. Right. So it is checking 310 is less than 300. No, false. 249 less than 300, yes, true, then apply the color. So like in this way. So it will just give me less than 300. Right? Now, if I wanted to highlight between 200 to 300, or I can say between 200 to 300, I wanted to highlight the data, right? So in that case, I can go for conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. Then we have between. I can say here between. I can write here 200 and 300. So it is saying that 200 to 300, between 200 and 300. So then we can select a color, right? So it is just going to highlight it, highlight the colors. Now, next here in this, we have option called equals option. So basically, um, even in this, not only a number, you can also apply the format on text as well. Let's say I wanted to highlight only bank name is equal to HDFC. Fine. So then what I will do, I can select the data. We can say conditional formatting, highlight cell rules equals to equals to. I will enter here HDFC. Right. So wherever we have HDFC, it will check HDFC is equal to HDFC. If it is true, then apply the color. Right. So it's like here equals to, right? Like this way. So we mentioned it is equal to HDFC, then apply the color. Let's say if I change this to HDFC, then it's going to apply the color, right? Like in this way. Next we have here text that contains. Text that contains, let's say in this data, let me take in this data. I'll take this data. Fine. So in this data, I wanted to highlight wherever I have a character I, like here in ICICI Bank we have I, SBI we have I, wherever we have a character I, then I wanted to highlight only those banks. Then select the data, conditional formatting. We can say here text that contains. Then we'll enter here I. So we're saying that wherever we have a text where we have I, so it is going to be highlight only those cells. Right? Text that contains I.
సార్
చెప్పండి.
ఇక్కడ ఒకవేళ అప్ కేసులు లుక్ కేసులో అలా అయ్యి ఉండేటివి వేరేటివి ఉంటాయి సార్ అప్పుడు సెలెక్ట్ చేయదు కదా
అప్పుడు ఉంటది. కేస్ సెన్సిటివ్ ఏం కాదండి ఇది. మీరు లోవర్ కేస్ లో ఉన్నా సరే వర్క్ అవుతుంది అన్నమాట. ఇప్పుడు లోవర్ కేస్ ఉంది, కొన్ని వాటిలో అప్పర్ కేస్ ఉన్నా వర్క్ అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ చూడండి, కొన్ని ఇక్కడ మొత్తం లోవర్ కేస్ లో రాస్తా, అయినా హైలైట్ అవుతుంది అన్నమాట. So next it's like date occurring. Date occurring is nothing but, let's say I have some serial dates. So I want to highlight tomorrow date. Tomorrow date I want to highlight. So then conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, date occurring. So we have options: yesterday, today, tomorrow, all these things. So if I select here tomorrow, it is going to highlight only tomorrow date. So tomorrow date 21, today is 21, tomorrow is 22. It is going to highlight only tomorrow date, right? Like in this way. So if I want to highlight next week date, then you can say here highlight cell rules, date occurring. If I say here next week, so it is going to highlight only next week information. Next week in the sense next Sunday to Saturday, so 29th. If we select here this week, so it is going to highlight only this week data, this Sunday to Saturday, like this way. So we can have option called date occurring. We can have predefined options. So we can select today, tomorrow, yesterday, all this thing. today, tomorrow, all these things. Fine. Next we have here duplicate values. Duplicate values. So you wanted to highlight only duplicate values, either a text or number. Let's say 367, again I have 367, 323, again I have 323. So I wanted to highlight only duplicate values I want to highlight. So repeated values I wanted to highlight, then yes, we can go for conditional formatting, highlight cell values, duplicate values, duplicate values. So we can select here unique or duplicate. I want to say highlight with duplicate values. Yes, duplicate values. So 367, again it is repeating, it is going to highlight. 323, again it is repeating, it is going to highlight. Right? So duplicate values.
సార్ ఇక్కడ సీక్వెన్సీ డేట్స్ ఎలా తీసుకున్నారు అది ఒకసారి చెప్తారా సార్?
ఇది ఉంది కదా ఫిల్ సిరీస్, దీని నుంచి ఇప్పుడు డేట్ ఉంది అనుకోండి, ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసేసుకొని ఇక్కడ ఫిల్కి వెళ్ళండి, సిరీస్కి వెళ్ళండి, ఇక్కడ డేట్, ఓకేనా, డేట్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసి ఓకే కొట్టండి, సీరియల్ డేట్స్ వస్తాయి.
అంటే మీరు యూజ్ చేసింది షార్ట్ కట్ కీ
షార్ట్ కట్ కి యూజ్ చేస్తాను నేను. షార్ట్ కట్ కి ఆల్ట్ ఈఐఎస్, సేమ్ అదే ఆప్షన్ షార్ట్ కట్ కి ఆల్ట్ ఈఐఎస్.
ఓకే సార్.
Next in this top and bottom rules. Let's see. Top or bottom rules. So basically top or bottom rules. First we have top 10 items. Like in this entire data, I wanted to highlight top 2 values I want to highlight. Highest 2 values I want to highlight. So conditional formatting, top or bottom rules, top 10 items. So we'll say here 2. So when we enter here 2, so it took almost like only top 2 values it is going to highlight. Fine. So once we click on OK, it is going to highlight only these 2 values. Right. Top ten items. So we'll select here 2. I mean highlight 2 values, highlight 2 values, top 2 values, 362, then 358. This is my top 2 values, like in this way. Right. Similarly, bottom 2 values, least 2 values I wanted to highlight. Then conditional formatting, bottom 10 items. We have bottom 10 items. We'll enter how many items we want to highlight. I want to highlight 2 values. So bottom 2 values. We enter here 2. We click on OK. So it is going to highlight only least 2 values. Bottom 10 items. Bottom 10 items. So we have entered 2. Right. Similarly, we have top 10% conditional formatting. Top 10%. When you say top 10%, it is going to highlight the highest value, like top value. It is going to highlight to top value. So if I say here conditional formatting, top 10%. So it is going to highlight the only one value, highest value in the selected data. So highest value is what? 362. So 362 is my highest value. So it is going to highlight only 362. Right? Top 10%. Similarly, we have bottom 10%. So when you say bottom 10%, least value in the data. So conditional formatting, say here bottom 10%. Bottom 10%, right? So least value in the data is 112. So it is going to highlight only one value when you say bottom 10%. Bottom 10%. So top 10%, bottom 10%. Top 10 items, bottom 10 items. Right? Next we have here above average, below average. So when I say above average, below average, this is my entire data. Average of this entire data is 266. Fine. So I wanted to highlight values which is greater than 266. Average of this entire data is 266. So we have option called top and bottom values above average. Means what? Average of this entire data is 266. Check if the value is greater than 266. Highlight only those values. Right? So we can go for above average. Above average. So it is going to highlight the data which is greater than 266. Above average. Similarly, we have below average. So conditional formatting, below average. So again, value which is less than 266. Only those values it is going to highlight below average. Right. So above average and below average. Right. Now next here in this we have data bars. Data bars is nothing but we will get some bar. We will get a bar on the data. So here if you have highest value, we'll get full bar. If you have least value, we'll get small bar. Let's say I'll select the entire data. We'll go for a conditional formatting data bar. This is nothing but a color only. Gradient fill, solid fill is dual color. So if I select this particular color, so you can see here we are going to get full bar for highest value 362 full bar, right? Half of the value 161, half of bar 112 least value. Let's say if I enter here only 10, then I'll get only small bar, right? 100, then it is going to only this much of bar. So it is compare, it will compare 100 comparing with highest value, how much it is the distance. So that bar size will be tell you, right? Like in this way. So basically data bar will help us to get the bar on the data. If highest value will get full bar, half of the value will get half bar, like this. Data bars, right? Now next we have here color scale. Color scale, these are first one we have here green, yellow, red color scale. So what is meant by green, yellow, red color scale? So highest value, top 25% will get green color. Then least 25% we will get yellow color. Remaining 50% will get least 25% will get red color, and middle values will get yellow color. Right? So green, yellow, red. Green for highest 25% of value, and bottom 25% will get red, and remaining 50% will get uh, yellow color. Right? So the data will literally it will be divided in that way, but we can also write our own condition. I'll show you how to write. But when you say color scale, yeah, it is going to give me this option. So you can see here color scale. Next we have icon sets. Will discuss this icon set, but normally when we apply this icon sets, so what it is going to do? Icon sets. These are the icons. Which icon you wanted to keep? Let's say if I select here shapes, if I select here traffic light, again it is going to follow the same thing. Top 25% you will get green color icon. Bottom 25% you will get a red color icon. Middle value you will get yellow color icon. Right? But actually we can also write our own condition. So I will show you, but color scale, I mean icon sets, it is directly going to give me that icon. So we have multiple icon sets here. We can select whichever we wanted. Like wanted to see show this traffic light. Let's say this is signaling. Here you can see highest value will get 4 signals. Least value will get only 1 signal. Right? Like this way. Icon sets. Are you getting, guys? Is it clear? No. No. So this is like we have option. We are going go ahead and select it. But apart from these direct options, we can also uh, create our own rules. So to create the rules, we can use this manage rules option. So we'll see how this manage rule option will work. Go one by one. So how to create the rules? How to create rules? Right. So to create the rules, so to create a rule, go to conditional formatting. Then we have to go manage rules, right? So select the data, conditional formatting, manage rules. In manage rules, so the first one we need to click on your new rule option, new rule, and select what type of a rule you want to apply, right? First one is format all cells based on their values, right? We'll see one by one. Format all cells based on their values. In this, first we have manage rule, new rule, format all cells based on their values. First one we have two color scale. Here minimum value, maximum value, lowest value and highest value. We can select a color, green, orange color and yellow color. Right? So if I select here low minimum value, we are going to get full orange. Maximum value will get full yellow, and middle values. If the values are increasing, then it's a combination of your orange and yellow. Right? So we can change the color. We have option to change the color. Now if we click on OK, now you will see least value, minimum value and maximum value. Minimum value full orange, maximum value full yellow, and middle values it's a combination of your yellow and orange. Right here, two color scale. Similarly, we have three color scale. Conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule. Then we have three color scale. Three color scale again, lowest value, midpoint, maximum value. Lowest value, midpoint, maximum value. So lowest value, low 20, least 25% values, red. High value, highest 25%, green. Middle values, you'll get yellow, right? So we click on OK. So like in this way, just like three color scale. Three color scale option. Now in this only, manage rule, new rule. So in this, next we have data bar. Again, same thing. If you wanted to show bar on the data, so we can go for data bar. Then we have solid fill. We can select here color, right? Now you can see color value, data bars, right? So even if you don't want to show data, only you want to show bar, then yes, we have option manage rule, new rule. Then we can go for data bar. Then here you can see there is option called show bar only option. So when we select show bar only option, we are going to get only bar, data will not be visible, right? Show bar only option. Let's say if I click on OK, If I click on OK, now you will see we are getting only bar, but data is not visible. Actually, we have data. We have data in this particular cell. You can see under formula bar. So option is show bar only. Show bar only option. So like in this way. So I mean, we have you can use these options. Next, in this only we have icon sets. Manage rule, new rule, format on all based on their values. So we can go for icon sets. Icon sets. So what is this icon sets? Let's say this time I want to use if my value greater than 300, then I want to apply green color traffic light. If my value greater than 200 and less than 300, I want to show yellow light. Fine, less than 200, I want to show a red color traffic light. Fine. So in that case, so how actually we can show? So select the data, conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule, then we can go for icon sets. Icon sets, icon style. Icon style, I will select what type of icon you want to show. I want to show this traffic light. Select this traffic light. Then here you have option. You can see type. In place of type, we have number and percentage formula. All these things. You want to go with number. You select here number. We select here greater than 400 or greater than 300. So we are saying that if when type number greater than or equal to 300, then I want to show green color traffic light. Fine. Then again number greater than or equal to 200. So we're saying that if my number is greater than 200 and less than 300, 200, 300, then yellow light. Fine. Again, when less than 200, if the value is less than 200, then show me a red color traffic light. Fine. So if you click on OK, so it is going to give me in this way. Right. So it is going to give me this greater than 300 green light, 200 to 300 yellow light, less than 200 a red light. So we can define the condition. We can define the condition. Right. Let me take this snip. Right, like this way. Not only this, again we have option called if you wanted to show only icons, then same thing. You can say here manage rule, new rule, then if formula based on their values, then we can go for icon sets. Icon sets, then you can select here show icon only. So when I select here show icon only, so it is going to show only icon, not the data. Right. So we say here number greater than 300. Right. Again number greater than or equal to 200, then click on OK. So it is going to give you only icons, not the data. This particular cell contains value 269, but visible standpoint we can show only it has only icon. Right? Show icon only. Now similarly, if you want to show the icon in reverse direction, like in place of green I want to show red, in place of red I want to show green, then yes, it's possible. Manage rule, new rule. Again, format also is based on their values. Icon sets, show icon only, then number 300. Again, we say number 200. Right. So then you can see here when you say 300, we are getting green color icon. When you say number 200 to 300, yellow icon. And then less than 200, you're going to get a red color icon, right? So if you click on reverse icon order, if you click on reverse icon order, in place of green, it is going to show red. Now can see reverse icon order, and then red, green. If it's again reverse icon order, green and red, like in this way. So it will going to show in reverse direction. So earlier we are getting red, now we are getting green. Earlier we are getting green, now it is showing red. Right? Reverse icon order. Let me show data values as well. Show values as well. Right? Reverse icon order. Reverse icon order. So like in this way, it means that see our own, we can give our own condition to get the icons. Now next, now in this next one, most of the time we use this option, format only cell that contain option. Format only cell that contain option. You'll see. Format only cell that contain. So what actually it means? So let's say I have a situation. I want to see greater than 300 value. I want to apply greater than 300, greater than or equal to 300 or greater than 300. I want to apply green color background and white font, right? Greater than 200, less than 300. I want to apply yellow background and black font, less than 200. We want to apply red color background and white font, right? Like this way. So select the data, conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule. So we can say here, select here, format only cell that contain. Okay. Then we have couple of options. We go with first cell a value. We mention greater than 300, greater than 300. Then we can use this format option. We mentioned for background should be green color, right? So we can go for format option. Then once we click on format option, it is going to open format cells. Fill is nothing but background color, right? Background color. We can select green color background, and I want to give font color as a white. So we'll come to font and we'll apply bold and color. I will select here white color. Right. So if you click on OK, so it is going to give me background is green and white font for value which is greater than 300. Right. Next, I want to add one more rule, greater than 200, less than 300. Then we can go for new rule again, continuation new rule. And then we can go for format only cell that contain between 200, 300. Right. Format again fill background is yellow and font is black font, right? Like in this way. Then again less than 200. So new rule, format only cell that contain less than 200, right? Format red color background, font bold, white font, right? Like in this. If you click on OK, now you'll see like in this way. So wherever we have value which is less than 200, the red color background, like in this way, we can apply this option, formatting option. like this way. Fine. Let's say if you have some missing value, blank cells are there. So you wanted to highlight only blank cells, missing values you wanted to highlight. Then conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule, format only cell that contain. We select here blanks. You can see here cell blanks. If I select here blanks, so it is going to highlight only missing values. Let's say I want to highlight with this color, right? Like this way. So blanks, I mean, we are highlighting only blank cells. Same thing if you wanted to highlight non-blank values, you wanted to highlight, select the data, conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule. So then format only cell that contain, we select here no blanks, so we wanted to highlight only data wherever we don't have any blanks, so we can highlight it like in this way. So if you apply here, that is going to show me only non-blank cells. If I write here some ABC, so it is going to be highlighted. No blanks. Right? Suppose example, you have some Excel errors like #NA. #NA errors are there. Some errors are there in the data. So you wanted to highlight only error data, error information you wanted to highlight. Then we can go for again manage rule, new rule, format only cell that contains. Then we can go for errors. You can select here errors and we can highlight only errors, right? Like in this way, errors. Similarly, no errors. I want to highlight only no error data. So select the data, conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule, format only cell that contains, then we go here no errors, right? Then select it what you wanted to apply here, no error. Okay. No errors. So we have errors, no errors, blanks, non blanks. So I want text value, all these things comes under format only cells that contains. Now next we have format. Yeah, any question, guys? Right. Now next we have here for conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule. Then we have format only top or bottom ranked values. So I wanted to highlight top two values, bottom two values. I want to highlight only those things, top two values, bottom two values. Then we can go for conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule, format only top or bottom ranked values, right? We can select here top or bottom. I want to go with top. Then I'll select here two. So I want to highlight top two values, top two, and we can apply some format, right? This is for top two. Similarly, I want to highlight bottom two. Then we say here new rule, top or bottom ranked values. We select here bottom, bottom two, bottom two. We will apply some color. So we want to highlight bottom two values. So top two values, bottom two values, right? So you can see here top two values, bottom two values. Top or bottom ranked values. So top two values and bottom two values, we can highlight it. Okay. Now next we have here format only values above or below average. So above average will be in one color, below average will be in another color. So we wanted to highlight only those things. This we can highlight it. So we can select here above I can say like above average will be in one color, below average will be in another color. So format only cell that contains. We select here above option, then we select here format, right? Same again, a new rule, format only values that are below or above average. We can select here below option, format, we can select it, right? So above average, below average. So if you click on OK, then yes, average is what? 265. So above average, above 265 will be in one color, then below average, below 265 will be in another color. So it's like above average or below average. Manage rule, new rule. Then again, we have format only unique or duplicate values. Let's say 100, I can say repeat once again. 216, I will repeat once again. So duplicate value will be in one color and unique values will be in another color. So then we can go for conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule, format only unique or duplicate values. So we select here duplicate and apply the color. Fine. Similarly, we say here new rule, format only unique or duplicate. We select here unique, then apply the formatting. Apply the formatting. Fine. So unique or duplicate values. Click on OK. Now you can see 100 is repeating. Yes, duplicate it will be one color. 260 is repeating. Yes, then it will be different color. Right. Duplicate values. Like in this way. I mean, we can apply the color. Now the last one in this is we have option called use formula to determine which cells to format. Let's see here. Use formula. Determine which cells to format. Right. So like so whatever we discussed, these are like already format is available. We are going and using this format, right? But if you wanted to apply the conditional formatting for the entire row, then you can use this use format to determine option. So we'll see how actually it will work. Let me copy this data. Let's say I wanted to highlight. So I wanted to highlight only HDFC records. I want to highlight only HDFC records, right? So then how to highlight it? So if I select the data like in this way, if I apply here conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, then I can say here text that contain HDFC, right? So it is highlighting, but it is hiding only this particular value. But I wanted to highlight the entire row I want to highlight, entire row I want to highlight, right? So in that case, whenever you wanted to highlight the entire row, uh, then we can go ahead and use this use formula to determine option, right? So normally the one which we are using, so this will be like the previous one will only highlight only one value, but I wanted to highlight the entire row. So whenever we wanted to highlight the entire row, so we need to write a formula. We need to write a formula and we have to use that formula in the conditional formatting. Okay, let's see what actually it means. So to apply the formula in conditional formatting. The first thing is what we know, that conditional formatting works on true or false logic. True or false logic. So we have to write a formula in such a way that the output of your formula should be true or false. The output of the formula should be true or false. Fine. So first I will write the formula in Excel, and then I will copy that formula into conditional formatting. Fine. If you want, you can directly write the formula in conditional formatting, but it is better write the formula in Excel and copy and paste the formula into conditional formatting. Right. So I will write here equal to this value, right? B108. So my bank name available in B column. So we will apply here $B. $B equal to HDFC. So we are checking value is equal to HDFC or not. If it is HDFC, I'm going to get a true, right? Because we have given equal up symbol. So if it is not, false. Then wherever we have HDFC, we'll get only true. So we have only HDFC twice. Let's say I will change this also HDFC. So it's become a true. So we are getting, if this value is true, so I wanted to highlight, if my value is true, I want to highlight the entire row, right? So then I will copy this formula, select the data, then go to conditional formatting, manage rules, new rule. We can go for use formula to determine which cell to format. Select this particular condition and we paste the formula. We paste the formula, right? And then apply the condition color coding, right? Now if you click on OK, now just observe, now this is highlighting the entire row, highlighting the entire row. So previously it just highlighting only one value. Now this time it is highlighting the entire row, right? So whenever we want to apply highlight the entire row, we have to use this use formula to determine option. Now let's say if I have a situation, I wanted to highlight ICICI and HDFC data, both I want to highlight it. So then which formula is suitable here? I wanted to highlight either it is a bank name is HDFC or ICICI. So which formula we have to use to get the type of output? So basically what we wanted to highlight only wanted to highlight ICICI or HDFC, right? So we can use this OR function. We can use OR function. So then HDFC value equal to HDFC, right? Comma, again the value equal to ICICI. So we are checking HDFC or ICICI. Then close the bracket. So we are going to get true or false. We are going to get true or false. Wherever we have ICICI, we get true. Otherwise, we'll get false. Right? So once it is true or false, you can copy this formula, select the data, conditional formatting, right? Conditional formatting, manage rule, new rule. So we can use formula to determine, and we paste here, right? We can apply the color coding. That's it. So we wanted to highlight the entire row. Whenever we wanted to highlight the entire row, we have to write the formula in Excel and copy paste. See the out. So we need to write a formula in such a way that the output of the formula should be true or false. Fine. So once we get true or false, we just need to copy and paste this formula into use formula to determine cell. Is it clear, guys? Any question in this conditional formatting?
Clear, sir.
Fine, actually.